If you decide to visit Chikmagalur in Karnataka, it would be a criminal waste not to sample the freshly brewed coffee that you get here. And what's even more exciting is that I'm standing at a 500-acre coffee estate that has been in the Gowda family since the 1800s. And this massive coffee estate, along with its gorgeous landscape surrounding it, is going to be home to the photographers who have come in for leg 2 of the Better Photography Frame the Star contest. At the Karnataka leg of the contest, the photographers found themselves in the midst of green, winding hills of the Chikmagalur district, and that challenge was completely different from the heritage city of Jaipur. 15 of the amateur and seasoned photographers were to capture the CLA in as many different landscapes as possible in a span of 24 hours, despite the rapidly changing weather conditions and lighting.
The interesting thing about this challenge is that we have photographers from all over the country, some of the best photographers in fact, who have come from various genres of the subject. So you have the fashion photographers, and you have product photographers, we have street photographers, and all of them come together to take pictures of the Mercedes-Benz CLA in various kinds of backdrops.
I'm basically a photojournalist, a documentary photographer. So photographing cars is as far away that it gets from what I would normally be doing. I have a few friends who I know do this sort of thing, but they really are into shooting cars in studio setups and stuff. And I know that it's very complex, but I obviously didn't know details about the complexities of it. So, you know, as opposed to, what it entails vis-a-vis what I normally do, I think it's a completely different ball game.
I was lost taking the photograph of this Mercedes car, beautiful car, the beautiful location. That's all about it. When I was taking photograph, I was lost completely. There was no thought of the contest or excitement or whatever it is. I was completely engrossed in taking the photographs.
I love the lines on the car. It's sleek. It's a Mercedes, so it's quite classically beautiful. I'm shooting the white one today, and there's another, there's a red one also on the table, which I'm hoping to get my hands on later. But I really like the way it looks. It looks a bit sporty. It looks a bit more like a convertible and less like a bulky sedan. So I like that it's clean like that.
I mainly shoot wildlife. I've never tried anything other than wildlife. So probably anticipation is one big thing in wildlife. Like in the sense, like we always are attentive to the situation, like be it bird or animal or anything like that. So probably the challenge with the car was probably I was thinking most of the time how to frame the shot and even light. My style of photography, I try to include most of the natural elements, and I don't plan my shots well in advance. So I just take it and go with the flow mainly. So I include a lot of like I shot in fog, and I shot a couple of shots in rain, stuff like that. So I like doing that kind of photography. I was ready for the rains, so I wanted to get a shot of a car in pouring rain. So I was lucky to get it today, because till today it was mainly drizzling, and probably around a 15-20 minute gap I got where it was pouring really. So I was happy with that shot. And also probably a couple of other shots which I had pre-visualized I could execute it well.
The evening before we were to shoot, while we were generally all of us hanging out, I was toying with a variety of ideas. But I think once we hit the road in the morning, I was really trying to react to the environment. If I was a car photographer, I think I would have been looking at detail in a very different way, But given the practice from where I come, I wasn't really looking at the car per se, but the car within a certain setting. In many cases, it was also about, just the setting per se may not have been very very dramatic, but it was about how you isolated a certain trunk of a tree which you are then trying to include in the composition along with the car to try and so I was looking at my surroundings and I was trying to place the car within it and photograph it.
The brief was simple. The photographers would have complete freedom to use an array of lenses and other equipments they deemed fit. Keeping in mind changing times, shooting from the cell phone too was an option.
It's really about how well you use your equipment. You can have the best equipment in the world, but if you don't know what you're doing, it's not going to look that great. Today, for instance, I'm shooting with two different mediums. I'm shooting with the Canon 5D, which is quite the classic SLR, and I'm also shooting with the iPhone. So I want to get a variation in the kind of pictures I get, and I love working with all kinds of technology. So I don't see it as a technology versus skill. I think it's a mix of both. I think you should extract the best you can from whatever camera you have.
I'm not very fussy about the equipment. Whatever camera I may have, I may do photography with that with quite ease and satisfaction. But sometimes you should have a technically advanced equipment for some particular sort of photography like this. I was having certain equipment with me and I tried that. Otherwise also, with the inexpensive or you can say the compact camera, I would be at ease.
Equipment plays a lot of important role, especially in low light photography, because I shot a couple of shots today evening and yesterday evening. The light was I used a torch light to just light paint the car and things like that. So I wouldn't have been able to achieve it with normal equipment. So I would say knowledge of photography as well as good equipment leads to a good photograph.
The biggest challenge for the photographers now is to select 20 of their best clicks to submit to the judges. And from the 30 contestants participating, 3 finalists will get a chance to photograph the last leg of the contest. A drive from Chandigarh to the beautiful hills of Naldera that takes place next week.